What's up, y'all?
This is Mad TV.
My name is Marquise.
I'm Alex.
I'm Daria.
And we back with another For Your Mother. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And hit that bell. Today's video is a little more serious. We will be discussing the differences and similarities between Every Child Succeed Act and the No Child Left Behind.
The No Child Left Behind Act was founded under the Bush administration in 2001.
The Every Student Succeed Act was founded under the Obama administration in December of 2015.
Oh, yeah. A similarity for both the acts is that states are responsible for holding schools accountable for student achievement. Each state can set its own goals for student achievement within that federal framework.
The difference between the Every Student Succeed Act is that they focus on test scores and academic factors when evaluating schools.
These academic factors include reading and math test scores, English language proficiency test scores, high school graduation rates, a state-chosen academic measure for grade schools and middle schools.
The school quality factor could include things like kindergarten readiness, access to and completion of advanced coursework, college readiness, school climate and safety, and chronic absenteeism.
While with the No Child Left Behind, they mostly focus their school evaluations on test scores alone. Another difference would be with the Every Child Succeed Act, it was more so geared toward bringing everyone up at least one level, at least one grade level. So if a student had special needs or a regular student was below level, the goal of the school would be to raise them from, let's say they were in the third grade and they were reading on a first or second grade level. Their goal would be to raise them at least one level.
There are no federal penalties for struggling schools. Instead, the schools will be getting more funding and will have it developed to improve, a developed plan to improve.
Whereas the No Child Left Behind Act, states had to bring all students up to the proficient level on state tests. This included students in special education. States also had to set targets for improvement called Adequate Yearly Progress, or AYP. If a school didn't meet AYP, it could be labeled as needing improvement. It could be required to fire its staff and face other federal penalties. So another similarity with both acts is that schools must publicly report test results, other measures of student achievement, and information about how much funding they are receiving.
They must also break these down by subgroups of students. The reporting has to show the performance of students in special education, minorities, and those in poverty, and those learning English.
And if the state identifies the school of the subgroup struggling, they should automatically notify the parents.
When it comes to struggling schools and students, under the Every Child Should Succeed Act, states and school districts must have a plan for helping schools with high dropout rates, schools that are consistently struggling, and schools that have a specific group of students like those in special education who are struggling.
Decisions about what to do may be made by the state or by local school districts and schools. But Every Student Succeeds Act requires states to use evidence-based methods to help these struggling schools and students.
Another difference with the No Child Left Behind Act is that if the school or subgroup of the students were struggling, the federal government offered the state a specific set of actions to help improve what they're struggling in.
Another difference with the acts involves literacy programs. And Every Student Succeeds Act calls for the creation of a national center focused on literacy and reading issues for kids with disabilities. This includes dyslexia.
Every Child Should Succeed Act has a literacy education program. This program authorizes up to $160 million in literacy grants in states and schools.
The No Child Left Behind Act didn't include a national literacy center. Also had several literacy programs that have since been defunded.
That's crazy.
The final difference involves parent involvement. Every Student Succeeds Act requires states to get input from parents and families as they create state plans. To get involved, reach out to your state's Department of Education.
We highly encourage it.
Where the No Child Left Behind Act didn't require states to include parent input when creating their state plans.
This was a bad thing.
So in conclusion, there was definitely more differences than similarities.
Some differences will include the way they test, the Common Core standards, the literacy programs, and the parent involvement.
And some similarities were the state versus federal authority, academic standards, state and school district report cards.
Whoa. As you guys are familiar with both the Every Child Succeed Act and the No Child Left Behind Act, we're going to state our opinions on what we would want for our children, if we have children. I definitely would prefer my kids to be under the Every Child Should Succeed Act, simply because it was more so geared toward improving students' literacy, their math skills, and building them up and setting them up for the next thing in life, such as college or trade school. And I think that's very important. And it was more so geared toward involving the family, the community, and things of that.
I will totally agree with him. Aside from everything that he already said, I believe that for my children, I do want to have input on their learning process, because if my child struggles, I would like to know that. So because every student succeeds, they do include parent input and parent involvement, so I definitely would allow my child to be a part of that.
What they said.
All right, guys, this is the end of the video. Hope you guys liked it. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
And comment down below.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. And we'll be back next week with another
For
For Your
Your
Mother.
Your mama.
Whoa.
Young man on the track.
Oh no.
Ready, set, and go. Welcome back, everybody.
This is Mad TV.
We gotta do the.
So I was confused. I don't know if we're all saying.
Are we all
welcome.
saying? We should all say welcome. I feel like it would be like.
All right.
All right, ready?
So is it welcome
Do
or
we
is
need better
it what's
lighting?
going on?
Because I have a lamp.
What's up, y'all?
Do we need better lighting?
I think we're good.
We both have on hats, so that's why I
If
asked.
we add any more light, I'm gonna be yellow. Let's be real.
Okay. I mean, but my light is like.
Cut this out.
It is still recording.
High yellow. Creole.
One, 2, 3. What's up, y'all?
This is Mad TV.
And we back with another
For
For
Your
Your
Mother.
Mother. My name is Marquise.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Daria. Again! Forgot again.
Say your name
The
first.
light.
Say your name first.
Yeah.
Say the same thing to your mother last.
I was lost as hell. Okay, let me say
You
that.
just looking at the screen like.
Wait, stop.
Hey, yo, this gonna be funny. 1, 2, 3. Today's video is a little more serious. We will be discussing the differences and similarities between the No Child Left Behind and Every Child.
Bro.
I got it. All right. I looked at you and you looked like you was trying not
You know
to
what
laugh.
she do?
I be trying.
Y'all know what we should do?
We should make it funny.
If we could make it funny, you know how at the end of movies they show all the times you messed up?
Yeah, that's why I said bloopers.
Make it 10 minutes long.
All right, ready, set, and go. Today's video is a little more serious. We will be discussing the differences and similarities.
No, I was gonna tell you.
I can't work with them. I can't work with them.
I was good until I looked at him.
Because he looked like he was about to laugh.
Yeah, he was just trying to hold it. Okay. I be trying to not look
Why
at
your
y'all.
differences were so hard?
Differences.
I'm trying. I really am.
Okay, it's 1 minute and 8 seconds into the video, and we have not finished. Okay,
We ain't doing shit but an introduction.
ready, set, and everything all right?
I hate this job, bro. I can't never stay in my room.
Damn, can't relate. Ready? And Today's video is a little more serious. We will be discussing the similarities and differences between No Child Left Behind and Every Child Should Succeed Act.
The No Child Left Behind Act was founded under. I remember the Bush. I can remember the rest.
Under the Bush administration.
Okay.
All right, we just. Today's video is a little more serious. All right, ready? Hold on,
We
wait.
can't laugh after
All
it.
right, we can't. All right, ready? Set. Today's video is a little more serious. We will be discussing the differences and similarities between the No Child Left Behind and Every Child Should Succeed Act.
Oh my god.
We just gonna keep the laughing.
It was just a head nod. Like, I was trying, but you just gotta roll with it, okay?
I think we
One
should
more
just
time.
laugh. We just don't have to laugh and like keep it pushing through the video.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah,
don't have to
because-
make it funny. I understand it's supposed to be informative, but he said creative.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna do it one more time.